Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time I'm going to be doing a review on the newly shown Hot Toys figure of Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian. So although I am going to be talking about the Hot Toys Baby Yoda, mainly this review is going to be a comparison now that we have Hot Toys version of the life-size Baby Yoda versus the Sideshow version of the life-size Baby Yoda. So, I was actually very impressed with Sideshow's version of Baby Yoda. I think that they did a pretty tremendous job, at least in their prototype pictures. Seeing Hot Toys, though, I was very much anticipating Hot Toys showing theirs, as they're usually far superior than Sideshow. However, just comparing the two, considering they are exactly the same product, just made by two different companies, I actually do prefer Sideshow's version. That's very rare, probably the first time that that's ever happened. I just think that Sideshow does have a better sculpt when it comes to the face, which is obviously with Baby Yoda being really just a face with a oversized coat. The face is the most important piece, so I think that they've actually done a little bit better of a better job. My big concern between the two of them, and I'll definitely talk about this though, is that Sideshow's products, the final product is usually not as good as the prototype. Usually the prototype is a little bit better looking than the final product. The final product is not horrible. It's not super different from the prototype, but there is always a quality decline when the final product comes in compared to the prototype images. However, with Hot Toys, that's not the case. With Hot Toys, their final products look just as good as the prototype. So therefore, with the Hot Toys' pictures here, that's what you're going to get for sure. With Sideshow, it's a little bit questionable. But just going over Hot Toys in general before I start comparing them more in depth. Hot Toys, the face sculpt does look good. It certainly is good. The only thing that I find disappointing with it is just when you compare it to Sideshow's, because Sideshow's has a sculpt that I prefer. Hot Toys has also gone with a little bit of an open mouth, which is accurate. The puppeteering on Baby Yoda does a lot of times have that kind of little open mouth, so it makes sense. But I'm just not a big fan of having that open mouth. I think that it actually looks a little bit better in the expression that Sideshow sculpted. The figure does look very lifelike, though. He does have little pieces of hair on the top of his head that kind of like fuzz. Although even on Sideshows, I think that it's a little bit more pronounced, and therefore it gives it even more of a lifelike look. I do like the fact, though, that with Hot Toys, they do come with interchangeable ears. To have his ears kind of pointed down, it gives you almost a change of expression just with the angle of the ears, which I think is very cool. Now, the only issue with that, though, is the fact that because he does have interchangeable ears, there is a bit of a seam, which obviously, from a quick glance, it just looks like it's, part of the wrinkles on the head. But when you do actually take a look at it, you can definitely see that there is a seam there, obviously, because of the ears having to be interchangeable. So because of that, it breaks some of the realism, and considering Sideshow's does not have interchangeable ears, it has more of a clean look because of that too. Now, just costumes, I think that Hot Toys did a nice job of actually sculpting the costume, and I think that where Hot Toys is much better than Sideshow is articulation. If you actually look at the pictures from Sideshow's version, the articulation looks super flat. There's no shot of him in really any sort of pose or stance. He's very much in the same, just kind of standing position every single time. While Hot Toys, he's got some personality. He's, lifting up the little piece to the joystick on the Mandalorian ship. He's got his hand up. He's moving around. They definitely pose him a lot more than Sideshow's version, which leads me to believe that Hot Toys is just going to be a lot more posable in general. Not to mention the fact that, as you can see here, Hot Toys will come with 6 interchangeable hands, giving you just more options and kind of just more options when it comes to posability and your display options too. So I do like that quite a bit. The Hot Toys version, accessory-wise, I would have expected a little bit more. It does come with more than Sideshow, but not a whole ton. Both versions, Sideshow and Hot Toys, come with a little joystick piece. They both come with a base that's very unique. They're not really... That's not like any of the other bases in the line for either of them. This is very different for a Hot Toys base, and the one that comes with Sideshow is very different from a Sideshow base. The Hot Toys one does come with interchangeable ears, of course. That's addition that the Sideshow one does not have, as well as the Mandalorian necklace. That's something that Hot Toys or Sideshow does not have as well. So you do get a few more accessories with the Hot Toys one. However, their accessories are a little unnecessary. I think that the pod would be a great accessory. Obviously, considering this is a life-size figure, that would be an extremely big accessory, though. So it would be cool if they did like a deluxe version, which came with the pod and obviously was an extra expense. That would be neat, and then that would be also a way to kind of separate it from Sideshow, because at this point they're so similar that you really just pick based on which one that you like better look-wise. You don't have the incentive of a great new accessory to go with one company over the other. So I think that Hot Toys kind of missed a mark by not adding something that allows them to really stand out. Because when you just go via price, as you can see, here's the Sideshow version. The Sideshow version is $350. The Hot Toys version, which I expected because Hot Toys is usually a little more expensive than Sideshow, is $410. And the fact that the Hot Toys one comes with very few extra accessories, you're really just paying for that Hot Toys name, and usually that means the extra quality. So right here, right off the bat, between the two of them, you can see a good shot of each of them in similar lighting. I think that, for me personally, I much prefer the Sideshow one. I think that it looks more lifelike. I also think that, and maybe they just did better when it comes to the lighting of this outdoor shot, but it really looks real to the fact where you can almost see the light coming in, like, from his ears, like a normal person would be able to like see the light actually coming through his ears. It looks like maybe they added like a little bit of a translucent piece to the ears so that you can like see light coming through it, because it looks extremely realistic. If you were to show me these two pictures and said one was Hot Toys and one was Sideshow, I would very much believe that the opposite was the truth, because the Sideshow one looks pretty incredible, to be honest, and the Hot Toys one looks great. It looks quite good, but it certainly doesn't look as good as the Sideshow one, to be quite honest. And the Sideshow one is cheaper, which is an added bonus. The only thing, if you were trying to think of which one to buy, you wanted to get one for sure, and you just wanted to decide which one to buy, the only thing that would make me kind of lean more towards maybe saying the Hot Toys one would be more worth it is the fact that you can guarantee with the Hot Toys one that what you're seeing in the pictures is what you're going to get. It's going to look that good. The Sideshow one, on the other hand, like I mentioned, is not going to look that good, like pretty certainly. Sideshow has a track record for having, the final product be not as good as the preview pictures by a long shot. And it'll still be good, but it just won't be that good. But you never know. The thing is, the Sideshow one looks so good that even if it wasn't as good as the pictures, it would still be pretty damn good. So it's almost worth taking the risk. To be honest, I don't think I'm going to pre-order either of these. I don't think I'm actually going to get them, although I do really like the look of both of them. But I think that if I were to order one, I would go with the Sideshow one, just because the preview pictures are so good. It's much more affordable. It's an extra like $40, or no, it's actually an extra $60 cheaper. So I would definitely recommend going with the Sideshow one, and I certainly wouldn't be saying that very often. So that just shows you how great the preview images, at least for the one that Sideshow's offering compared to Hot Toys. Again, don't get me wrong, the Hot Toys one does look very nice, but in comparison, Sideshow actually did a much better job when it just comes to the prototype. But it'll remain to be seen what the final product will look like for either of these, and maybe in 6 months when the final products come out, it'll very much be that the Hot Toys one's better, but we'll have to wait and see. However, for right now, both products look great. I think that personally, I enjoy Sideshow's better, and I think a lot of people are probably going to prefer Sideshow's, but both have a great product. So there, that's my thoughts on the new Hot Toys 1:1 scale Baby Yoda from the Mandalorian show, compared with the 1:1 scale Baby Yoda from the Sideshow version as well. Let me know what you guys think of the new Hot Toys figure, as well as just how it compares to the Sideshow one, and thanks so much for watching.